All right, let's just jump right in. You've probably done this, right? You ask ChatGPT a question and boom, it spits out a whole detailed answer. Or maybe you've seen those wild AI image generators. You type in a few words and get this incredible picture. Well, that's generative AI, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack right now.
I mean, it really does feel like magic sometimes, doesn't it? But it's not. So what's really going on under the hood when you type something in and get something totally new back? Let's pull back the curtain and see how this thing actually works.
Okay, so to get what's happening, we have to start with the most basic idea of all. What is this technology even for? What's its whole purpose?
So at its core, generative AI is, well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a type of AI that generates stuff, new stuff. It's not just a super-powered search engine that finds things that are already out there. No, it's actually creating brand new original content. We're talking text, images, music, you name it. The key thing to remember is, it's all about creation.
The whole dance starts with you. You give it a request. We call that a prompt. Then the AI taps into all of its training to figure out what you want. And finally, it spits out something completely new just for you. Now, to really make this click, let's use an analogy that I think helps a ton. Just imagine the AI is an expert chef at some fancy world-class restaurant.
Okay, so you walk into this restaurant and you say to the chef, hey, make me something amazing with chicken. Notice what you're doing. You're not giving them a super detailed step-by-step recipe. You're just giving a high-level request, a prompt. You're trusting their expertise to figure out the rest.
And here's the magic. The chef doesn't just go to the freezer and pull out a pre-made dinner. Of course not. They use all their years of training, their deep knowledge of flavors and cooking techniques to create a brand new dish, totally unique, just for you. That's exactly what generative AI is doing with your prompt.
So if the AI is our amazing chef, then what's the brain that lets it cook up all these incredible results? Well, that brings us to the engine that powers this whole thing.
And that brain is something called an LLM. It stands for Large Language Model. I know, it sounds a little intimidating, but don't let it fool you. In our little story here, the LLM is just the chef's brain. It's the part that holds all that knowledge, all that experience.
And listen, when we say large language model, we are not kidding. They mean large. These things have been trained by reading, well, basically the entire internet. Think about it. Books, articles, websites, the whole shebang. We're talking billions, maybe even trillions of words. It's like our chef didn't just go to cooking school. They literally read every single cookbook and food blog ever published. That's the scale we're dealing with.
You've probably heard of some of these LLMs, even if you didn't know it. GPT, that's the model behind ChatGPT. Then there's Claude. Google has one called Gemini. You can kind of think of these as different master chefs. They all do the same basic job, right? But they were trained a little differently, so they each have their own unique style, or maybe a special dish they're really good at.
Now, this all sounds unbelievably powerful, and it is. But, and this is a really big but, there's a critical limitation that you absolutely have to understand.
Yeah, there's a catch. And honestly, this one little detail changes everything about what these models can and, more importantly, can't do.
This big limitation is called the knowledge cutoff. See, our chef's brain, the LLM, it only knows what it learned during its training. So if its training data stopped in, say, December 2024, its entire world, everything it knows, just ends on that date. It has zero knowledge of anything that happens after that point. Its knowledge is literally frozen in time.
So what does that mean in practice? Well, an AI trained up to December 2024 knows all about world history, but it's completely clueless about what's going to happen tomorrow. If you ask it for the weather in January 2025, it can't tell you. Ask it about that cool new restaurant that just opened up last week? No idea. It's kind of like asking a friend who moved out of town 2 years ago for the latest local gossip. They just weren't there to see it.
Okay, this brings up a really obvious question then. If the AI's knowledge is stuck in the past, how in the world does it seem to know about things happening right now?
Because you've probably done this, right? You've asked an AI about something in the news today, and you got a perfect answer. So how is that even possible if its knowledge has this cutoff date?
Well, here's the secret. Modern AI systems aren't just the LLM anymore. They give that LLM brain access to tools. Think of it like giving our brilliant chef a smartphone with an internet connection. The chef's brain hasn't changed, but now they can look up today's fresh ingredients or check the latest food trends in real time.
So here's maybe the best way to wrap your head around this. The LLM, that's like your brain.
It's pretty powerful on its own, right? But think about how much more capable you become when you just pick up a calculator or your phone to look something up. You didn't magically get a higher IQ, you just gave your brain a tool. And that's exactly what's happening here. The LLM itself isn't changing, but by giving it a tool like internet search, it becomes way, way more powerful.
Okay, that was a lot to cover, so let's boil this all down to the absolute must-know points, the stuff you really need to remember from all this.
First, generative AI is all about making new, original stuff based on a prompt you give it. Simple. Second, the engine behind it all is the LLM. That's its brain trained on a truly insane amount of data. Third, and this is a big one, that brain has a major weakness, the knowledge cutoff. Its knowledge is frozen in time. And finally, number 4, the most useful AI systems we use today get around that weakness by combining the LLM brain with tools like a live internet search to make it much more useful.
So we've seen how AI can answer pretty much any question you throw at it. But what happens when it goes beyond just answering and actually starts doing things for you? That's when it gets really, really interesting. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into next time. I'll see you then.